2026 wasn't supposed to feel like this.
Oh my god, look at this. The snow's up to the 20th floor. You can't even see the street anymore.
Old prophecies, once dismissed as myths, began matching reality, step by step.
No. Allahu Akbar.
Strange warnings surfaced. Events lined up too perfectly.
We will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem very soon.
Predictions for this year were never comforting.
The world will lose gravity for 7 seconds, NASA knows.
And now they're happening.
The sky's opening up! 3i Atlas is the mothership! Hide now, all of you!
Forcing everyone to confront an ending they hoped was fiction.
The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet.
So this weird clip has been circulating online, and yes, it might look like just another plane, but it wasn't. People online went nuts because it was the US Air Force's so-called Doomsday plane, the E-4B Nightwatch, basically a flying Pentagon built to keep the government alive if everything on the ground gets blown to bits. It popped up near Washington and then dropped into public view, which hardly ever happens. Especially not out in the open like that. Folks started asking if this was a prep move for something massive, like World War III. People really started connecting dots everywhere. There were massive protests in Iran that the government tried to smash, even cutting internet and phone access to stop the world from seeing it. And in Venezuela, US forces seized President Maduro and flew him to New York on January 3rd. Which kicked off this huge international uproar. With all of that, people began saying these weren't separate crises. They were signs the world was sliding into a full-blown global war, especially since they all lined up right when that eerie Doomsday plane showed up. Then these clips started spreading of Russia's so-called Doomsday radio, that mysterious shortwave station known as the Buzzer. People claimed it was sending weird encrypted codes again. And that every time it does something like this, big world events follow. Cold War buffs say that station might be tied to old nuclear command systems, and that any sudden encoded transmission could mean something serious is brewing. Some went full conspiracy, talking about sleeper units or hidden triggers. So naturally the question flipped from what's happening to are we looking at a doomsday countdown? Like and subscribe, because if this year is a warning, you'll want to hear the rest of it. Vanga warning.
Поставьте его правителем. Только он может все ясно сказать.
You probably knew the name Baba Vanga already, and yeah, whenever she came up, it was never good news. She was a blind Bulgarian woman who built a reputation for predicting things that later came true. People said she could see the future in her mind just by looking at someone. Over time, fans linked her to events like the 2004 Indonesia disaster.
A huge wave will cover a big coast, covered with people and towns, and everything will disappear beneath the water.
And even Obama becoming president.
The 44th President of the United States will be an African-American man. Everyone will put their hopes in him.
So when old clips and quotes about her 2026 prediction started spreading, people paid attention. She was said to have warned about a year filled with war and destruction. And with the Doomsday plane showing up and chaos breaking out worldwide, the timing felt uncomfortable. Way too many things are lining up at once for people to ignore anymore. Kursk prophecy. Back in 1980, Baba Vanga had said something that confused people for years. She claimed that Kursk would be covered with water and the whole world would cry over it. Everyone assumed she meant the Russian city, but nothing happened, not until August 2000. That was when the Russian nuclear submarine Kursk sank in the Barents Sea, with all 118 crew members. When the news broke, people suddenly remembered her words. The name matched. The timing matched, and the world really did cry.
What happened with the submarine?
After that, a lot more people took her seriously, because what once sounded vague suddenly felt very, very specific. And from that point on, Her other predictions didn't seem so crazy anymore. Melting future. This footage started spreading online and it freaked people out fast. Scientists are saying Greenland's ice sheets are losing around 30 million tons of ice every single hour. Not per day, per hour. And it's way worse than they had expected. People immediately tied it back to Baba Vanga again. She warned that polar ice would melt and flood coastal cities around the world. She predicted it for 2033, but it looks like the planet isn't waiting. Sea levels are rising, storms are getting stronger, and entire coastlines are at risk. The scary part isn't just the ice, it's the speed. Everything feels like it's happening too fast, like Earth pressed the fast-forward button and forgot how to slow down. Pole shift. One of Baba Vanga's darkest predictions was that Earth would shift in a way that left it open to massive natural disasters. Not literally flipping overnight, but slowly losing its balance. The planet isn't perfectly even. Ice, oceans, and land constantly move weight around. Over time, that could mess with how Earth stayed stable. People online said the melting ice, changing currents, and strange magnetic behavior were signs of that imbalance. And then came the bunker talk. Billionaires and world leaders are building underground shelters like they expected something big. Not tomorrow, but soon. So when people looked at all of it together, they didn't just see climate change. They saw preparation, and that made the whole thing feel way more unsettling. Hidden bunkers. One of the main U.S. Doomsday bunkers for top officials had been buried under nearly 2,000 feet of solid granite, sitting at around 7,000 feet above sea level. It's meant to survive everything: natural disaster, solar radiation, magnetic field collapse, and extreme weather. Inside, it has its own power, underground water, food stockpiles, preserved tech, and now probably massive AI. Data centers too. People said Cheyenne Mountain wasn't really about nuclear war at all. That was just the excuse. According to insiders, they have known about a coming geophysical event since the 1940s. And if that was true, then this wasn't preparation. It was expectation. Things got even stranger after an interview with former Pentagon UAP boss Luis Elizondo. When the host asked if something big was coming soon, he didn't deny it. He said yes.
You hear of something big coming down the pike.
Yes, I've heard of them. Yes, I'm aware of them, and I'm not able to have that conversation.
But claimed he wasn't allowed to talk about it. That pause alone said everything. People became convinced he was hinting at the geophysical event and the secret bunker building. Not aliens, not war, something even bigger. And the fact he stayed quiet made it louder. Space signals.
The sky's opening up! 3i Atlas is the mothership! Hide now, all of you!
You probably heard about Comet Atlas passing close to Earth. Most people shrugged it off. But inside one grocery store, a woman suddenly collapsed, screaming that Atlas wasn't a comet at all, but a giant mothership heading straight for us. The clip went viral fast. Then people remembered Baba Vanga had predicted extraterrestrial contact in 2026, and things got creepier. Scientists detected strange pulses from 3I/Atlas at 1,420 megahertz.
When 3i Atlas came within 30 million kilometers of Mars, and it was taken by the high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter.
The exact frequency SETI used to search for alien signals. Some believed it was a warning. Others thought it was an arrival announcement. With all the chaos already happening on Earth, people didn't see this as coincidence. They saw it as the final piece clicking into place. And suddenly, Are We Alone stopped sounding hypothetical. Gravity collapse.
The world will lose gravity for 7 seconds, NASA knows.
A wild theory started spreading after a mysterious article claimed Earth would lose gravity for 7 seconds on August 12th, 2026. The story said NASA already knew and was hiding it under something called Project Anchor.
project called Project Anchor that NASA has an $89 billion budget for.
Supposedly, they were testing whether Earth could survive a gravity drop caused by a black hole passing nearby. People online went nuts. 7 seconds doesn't sound like much, but at planetary scale, it meant oceans lifting, cities breaking apart, and everything not bolted down flying. No one knows if it's real or total fiction, but the idea alone is terrifying, because if gravity really shuts off, even for seconds, the aftermath wouldn't be something humanity can just walk away from.
Claiming it has something to do with that black hole or whatever that is.
Alien agenda.
I'll tell you what the alien agenda is, and it's going to sound very familiar.
A clip had been circulating online, and people were genuinely freaked out. In it, a man claiming he used to work at Area 51 said he knew about an alien plan, and that the US military knew too. According to him, the goal was to take over Earth and cut the human population down by more than 5/6 by 2029. That alone sounded insane.
The alien agenda is the complete takeover of this planet, the killing off of 5/6 to 7/8 of the world's population by the year 2029.
But people didn't stop there. They started saying the takeover had already begun quietly. While elites were building bunkers to save themselves, the rest of us were left exposed. Some even tied the chaos in Iran and Venezuela into it, like it was phase 1. And in times like this, such patterns are enough to scare people.
The military has known about this for 45 years. They've told no one.
Red Heifer.
Challenge is not to find a particular red cow. The challenge is to raise a perfect red heifer according to the exact biblical requirements.
You've probably heard about the red heifer ritual. Well, people say the preparation has already started.
This story took place after the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans. There is another prophecy that says that the same place will be rebuilt.
The idea is that a perfectly pure red cow would allow the rebuilding of the Third Temple in Jerusalem. For years, there have been rumors about tunnels under the Temple Mount, and now folks claim that was all groundwork.
We will all see the building of the Third Temple in Jerusalem very soon.
In Jewish belief, rebuilding the temple would welcome the final Messiah. But in other interpretations, that moment also triggered end-time events. So when people heard they were just a hair away from construction, panic followed. To some, it wasn't religious history anymore. It felt like a countdown, and not anyone wanted to reach zero.
All of the golden pieces that are being put together for the Third Temple have been built.
Simpson predictions. Now people have also dragged The Simpsons into it. One episode from season 18 showed Springfield getting invaded and destroyed, and 3 years later, it's just ruins. Fans compared it to current US-Iran tensions. In the episode, the aliens said they invaded because Springfield had weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, that line hit way too close. People pointed out how real-world conflicts always start with the same excuse. Even though things cooled down a bit, the fear never left. Viewers weren't watching it as a cartoon anymore. They were watching it like a warning. And once you start seeing real life inside a joke, it stops being funny real fast. If The Simpsons has taught us anything, it's that their what-ifs have a way of becoming reality. One episode shows Springfield hit by a deadly snowstorm that turns the town into a frozen wasteland. It starts out as a normal winter day, then chaos, panic, and people scrambling for shelter as the storm's name gets banned for being too grim. It's fiction, sure, but with experts warning that this winter could be the coldest since 2013.
Oh my god, look at this. The snow's up to the 20th floor. You can't even see the street anymore.
Recent footage came out of Kamchatka, Russia, and it looks unreal. The city was buried under up to 5 meters of snow. Transport stopped, flights grounded. People had to dig tunnels just to leave their homes. Records that stood for 146 years were broken. Watching those clips didn't feel fictional. It felt like the episode had been playing out for real. Another Simpsons clip went viral for a weird reason.
Behold, the power plant of the future today!
It showed a kids' science fair. But the kids were presenting nuclear power plant designs. It was played for laughs, but people took it differently now.
But it really generates power. It's lighting this room right now.
They said it symbolized how many countries might be involved in future nuclear war. And with rumors about secret weapons and Black Ops tech, that didn't feel far-fetched anymore. After the Doomsday plane showed up, people said this joke prediction might actually be next on the list. And that was the scary part. Even cartoons were starting to feel like leaks.
Well, basically, I just copied the plant we have now.
In Season 3, Homer accidentally stopped a nuclear meltdown at the power plant. It was played completely for comedy. Slipping, panicking, pushing the wrong buttons, and somehow saving the day.
Homer,
yeah?
Please pay attention. This button here controls the emergency override circuit. In the event of a meltdown, push this button and only this button.
But fans still took it seriously. They said the episode pointed straight at nuclear danger. And yeah, the tone was goofy. But so were a lot of other Simpsons moments that later came true. People remembered how the show had predicted real stuff before, so even the silly episodes didn't feel harmless anymore.
Gotta pick a button, pick a button, pick a button. No, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4.
Because we know how real these predictions can be, as we've covered them already in one of our previous videos, where we talked about what the Simpsons predicted for the future.
We're preparing to launch the first privately funded manned mission to Mars.
You're going to Mars? That's incredible!
Some of them have come true already. Tulsa glow.
See, it's like breathing. Yeah.
With end-of-the-world talk everywhere, people were already on edge. Then this clip surfaced. It showed a steady, pulsing glow over the Tulsa River at dusk, just a rhythmic light under the clouds, hanging there for minutes. Witnesses said it flickered eerily and didn't resemble any weather moment they had seen before. Some called it a rare phenomenon. Others said plasma, but a lot of people went straight to signs from the heavens. With 2026 fear in the air, nobody saw it as random. They saw it as a message, and whatever it was, it didn't feel like it came in peace.
It's getting brighter again.
Like it's under the clouds, pushing up. Never seen the sky do that before.
Spinning wheel.
This seem normal to anyone else?
Something strange was caught on camera by a local in Vancouver. And yeah, it was low-key terrifying. In the clip, there was this giant glowing wheel spinning in the night sky. At first, some people said it could have been the sun behind clouds, but it was clearly nighttime. And it didn't look like the moon either. The dull light just kept rotating while the guy filmed it, and nobody had a real explanation. So naturally, the comments went wild. A lot of people believed it wasn't random at all. They said it looked like a sign from above, warning that something huge was about to go down.
Oh,
Sky flash.
O que tá acontecendo, cara?
There was something odd caught on camera during live weather forecasts in Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. If you looked closely, you could see a flash of light slicing through the cloudy sky. At first, viewers didn't even notice it, but once the clip started circulating, people paused, zoomed, and freaked out. Some said it was a comet, others thought it was a rocket, but it moved way too fast for either. Then the weirder theories came out. People said the sky itself was glitching, like reality couldn't keep everything stitched together properly anymore. Another clip blew up after a man zoomed in on a weird-shaped cloud. Inside it, light looked like it was traveling through, flickering, almost like a TV screen glitching out. People didn't know what to make of it. Some said the sky itself was breaking. Others believed it wasn't natural at all and had something to do with humans messing with the weather. Whatever it was, it didn't look normal, and that made everyone uncomfortable.
Я не знаю, что это такое. Аллаху Акбар.
Molten impact.
The corner of Bandera Road and Old Pearl Road in San Antonio, Texas.
Shocking news came out of San Antonio, Texas, after something reportedly slammed into an empty parking lot. Thankfully, no one got hurt, but the drone footage scared people. The object looked like molten metal shaped like the letter M.
What this could be, but we're seeing liquid metal and the remnants of what appear to be an imprint of an M.
Officials called it a meteor, but not everyone bought that. Some said it didn't look like any space rock they'd seen before. They believed it was extraterrestrial, a warning shot. And with Baba Vanga's old predictions about alien contact in 2026, people didn't see this as coincidence. They saw it as a message.
Meteor streaking through the sky, and it appears to have landed here in this parking lot.
We all know solar eclipses look creepy, but a total one? That is different. Footage showed parts of the US suddenly plunging into darkness. 1 second it was daylight. The next, it looked like someone shut off the sun.
It feels like rapture. It feels like rapture. I'm shaking.
People stood there in silence, barely believing what they were seeing. Sure, science explained it, but not everyone felt comforted by that. Some believed God was sending a warning, a sign to return to faith before it was too late. And once you saw the sky go black in the middle of the day, it was hard not to feel like it meant something more.
It's so cool. Oh my God.
Double moon. A woman in Brazil said she looked up and froze. Instead of one moon, there were two, stacked in the night sky, one above the other. She swore it had to be a sign of the end times. And honestly, people agreed that strange things in the sky were supposed to come before the end. Still, others tried to stay calm. They said it was probably an illusion, maybe a reflection of the real moon. But even then, seeing two moons didn't feel normal. And once you noticed it, you couldn't stop staring. Pink blizzard. A local in Buckley, Washington, recorded something that looked straight out of a dream. The sky had turned bright pink, and while it looked beautiful, people couldn't stop asking why it happened. Then, someone in north-central Iowa posted something even crazier. A full-on pink blizzard. The snow, the sky, everything looked tinted rose. Experts later said it was a rare mix of a winter storm and sunset light scattering off clouds and snow. But online, people weren't fully convinced. They felt like nature was changing its colors on purpose, saying it felt like a warning, dressed up as something pretty. Crow invasion. This wasn't a movie scene. It happened in real life. In Wuhan, China, thousands of crows suddenly flooded the city. The sky was packed with them. Streets went dark. People were horrified. And yeah, of all places, it had to be Wuhan again. Some joked nervously, hoping it wasn't another disease situation. But mass bird movements were usually linked to natural disasters, so panic spread fast. Experts said it could have been unusual weather patterns, but nobody really bought that. When that many birds showed up at once, people didn't see coincidence. They saw an omen, and once that idea set in, the fear didn't leave. Split sky.
Sky is broken. And everybody knows something's fishy.
Locals recorded something that looked seriously wrong with the sky. It looked like it had been sliced in half. A clear blue section on one side, darker on the other, with a sharp line running between them. People stopped calling it rare weather. They said it looked weird, like the sky was glitching. Some even tied it to end-time signs, saying reality itself was breaking. Others just stood there filming in silence. Because once you saw a clean line cutting across the sky like that, you couldn't unsee it, and no explanation really felt good enough.
Is the sky broken? Why so many apocalyptic signs?
Sky crack. After this clip went viral, people started saying the Truman Show might be real. The video showed what looked like a literal crack in the clear blue sky, like someone had smashed it with a hammer. There was darkness behind it. Viewers swore it looked like the sky was peeling open, and that led to wild theories. Some said NASA had lied about the nature of Earth. Others said the truth would be revealed soon. It sounded insane, but the visual was unsettling. Because when the sky itself looked broken, people didn't feel curious. They felt exposed. Glowing cloud.
Did you see the little white light that was coming down?
A strange video from Florida went viral after locals filmed a glowing cloud at night. It wasn't just glowing. It looked like it was shining light down onto the ground, like a massive beam from above. People didn't know what to make of it. Some said it had to be extraterrestrial, like aliens showing themselves. Others believed it was divine, a sign from God. Either way, nobody thought it was normal, because clouds weren't supposed to light up the earth. And when the sky started doing things it wasn't supposed to do, people felt like they were being watched.
I told you. There's a goddamn alien. It was going too sideways for far too long to be a meteor.
Fish flood. This wasn't a feeding frenzy. On the beaches of Mayasim in Sarangani, Philippines, millions of fish washed ashore in January 2024. The shore turned silver. No sand was visible underneath, just fish jumping out of the water non-stop. People stood there in shock. Some said it was about food. Others believed animals sensed disasters before humans ever did. And if that was true, then this wasn't random. It was a warning, and nobody felt ready for whatever it was warning about. Snake cracks. These weird snake formations showed up on a New York bike path and made riding impossible. They looked like raised scars on the pavement, thick, sausage-shaped ridges. They came back even after the officials fixed them, which meant the problem wasn't on the surface. People started calling it the upside down from Stranger Things. And honestly, with all the strange stuff happening lately, that didn't sound as crazy as it should have.
There were some big cracks which went longitudinally in the direction of travel right along your path where you cycle.
Molten anomaly. In 2025, scientists warned of a mile-wide molten anomaly moving underground toward New York, but assured everyone it'd take 2 million years to arrive. Locals weren't so sure. This year looks like it has a knack for disasters. Some people online claimed the molten mass was moving faster than scientists admitted. Skeptics laughed it off, saying something that massive couldn't go unnoticed. But what if it had? And someone was making sure it stayed that way? Land splitting Africa and Mexico. A rancher near Hermosillo recorded a massive crack in the ground. He said it was several meters deep, and authorities couldn't even reach it because streams had formed around the area. The cracks were spreading, expanding. It felt like the earth was quietly tearing itself open. Here's the giant crack in Kenya that opened almost overnight. It was about 50 feet deep and over 65 feet wide. Massive. Scientists said the crack had always been there.
We're seeing a crack that in all likelihood formed over many thousands of years or hundreds of thousands of years.
And tectonic plates were slowly revealing it. They even said Africa would split in two one day, just not for another 50 million years. Still, watching it happen now didn't feel scientific. It felt like the beginning of something no one wanted to see.
In your view, it's probably evidence that Africa is splitting in two.
Yes.
Mysterious sinkholes opening out of nowhere. Recent footage showed a popular sports field in Australia where a massive sinkhole opened almost overnight on January 9th, leaving locals stunned. Just days earlier, another sinkhole appeared in a farmer's field in Batua village, West Sumatra.
Tanggal 4 Januari 2026.
Two different countries, same nightmare. People started asking why the ground kept giving way everywhere. The number of sinkholes are rising, and it feels like the planet is slowly losing its structure. One of the worst cases was in Turkey's Konya Plain, which has been plagued by giant sinkholes for years. Some were so massive they looked unreal, and when the earth started opening up like that, people were left convinced the apocalypse was near. Red River. This was the Rimac River in Peru near Lima, and in early 2025, its water turned an unnatural red. Locals and authorities were alarmed. And yeah, red rivers are linked to end-time signs in religious texts, so people panicked fast. Many said it was a warning that the end was near. Later, experts said the color came from iron and oxide-rich rocks eroding into the water. Science had an answer, but fear didn't care. A lot of people still believed it wasn't just chemistry. They believed it was a message. Desert Chronicles. This weird clip had been circulating online showing a massive cloud sitting right on the desert floor. It looked like it was almost touching the ground. Seeing a cloud that low felt wrong. Some said it was an anomaly they'd never seen before. Others swore it was the mother of clouds, a rare formation that only showed up once in decades. Either way, it didn't look natural. It looked intentional. This footage isn't from a river, it's from the Saudi desert. After historic weather in 2023, the sand had turned into flowing water. Watching it felt unreal, and people immediately remembered an old prophecy saying the Arabian deserts would turn green and grow rivers near the end times. So when clips like this appeared, it didn't just look like rain. It looked like something ancient waking back up. And that thought alone made people uneasy. When this clip first surfaced, people thought it had to be a hoax. It showed a bizarre monolith in the California desert that looked like a doorway carved with screaming faces, twisted bodies, serpents, and a giant closed eye glowing in the center.
Pretty creepy.
That eye even looked like a spider's bulb with sharp legs around it. To check if it was real, a local went out there, and to his shock, it was actually standing there. Watching it felt like staring at a gate that wasn't meant to be opened, and that eye looked like it could blink open any second. Black Surge. A man in Iran was withdrawing cash at an ATM when something unreal happened. Black liquid suddenly surged up through the tiled floor and started pooling near his feet. Shocked, he called the guard, who stood there just as speechless. Later, it was confirmed to be oil. Actual oil bubbling up from under the building. And that part alone was insane. Imagine the pressure, the amount of oil trapped down there. Seeing it force its way through the floor like that didn't feel natural. It felt like the earth was leaking. Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.